Myth and misconceptions, separating fact from fiction about the dire wolf. The name alone, dire wolf, conjures up images of towering beasts, monstrous fangs, and howling killers roaming a frozen wasteland. But how much of what we believe about dire wolves is real, and how much is pure fantasy? Let's separate science from storytelling. Were dire wolves really bigger than modern wolves? Yes, but not by as much as you think. In movies, video games, and fantasy novels, dire wolves are often depicted as horse-sized monsters, towering over humans and ordinary wolves. The reality is more grounded, but still impressive. Dire wolves, Canis dirus, were larger and heavier than today's gray wolves. On average, they weighed between 130 to 150 pounds, 59 to 68 kilograms, with some larger individuals reaching up to 175 pounds, 79 kilograms. That's about 25% heavier than a typical modern gray wolf. So while they were muscular and powerful, they weren't the building-sized beasts of fantasy. They were more like a stocky, robust cousin to the modern wolf, built for strength rather than speed. The truth about their bite force and hunting style, thanks to fossil analysis, especially skulls recovered from the La Brea tar pits, scientists have been able to estimate the dire wolf's bite force, and the numbers are staggering. Dire wolves had thicker jaws and larger teeth than gray wolves. Their bite force is estimated to be one of the strongest of any known canid, ideal for crushing bone. Their carnassial teeth, specialized shearing teeth, were well suited to processing large prey and scavenging carcasses. This bite strength suggests they weren't just hunters, they were opportunistic feeders, capable of both taking down live animals and breaking into bones for marrow, much like modern hyenas. As for how they hunted, evidence supports that dire wolves were pack hunters, similar to gray wolves today. Working together, they could bring down massive Ice Age herbivores like bison, horses, and young mammoths. Their hunting style likely combined endurance, strategy, and brute force, not solitary stealth like saber-toothed cats. In short, they were team killers, not lone monsters. Could dire wolves have interbred with modern wolves? This question baffled scientists for decades. Dire wolves lived alongside gray wolves, coyotes, and other canids for thousands of years. So why didn't they interbreed? Thanks to groundbreaking DNA studies published in 2021, we finally have the answer. Despite their similarities in appearance, dire wolves were not closely related to gray wolves or coyotes. In fact, they split from the common ancestor of modern canids over 5 million years ago. This long evolutionary separation means they were genetically incompatible with modern wolves. They simply couldn't produce hybrid offspring. So while gray wolves and coyotes interbred and adapted through hybrid vigor, dire wolves were stuck in evolutionary isolation. This lack of genetic flexibility may have been one of the reasons they went extinct. Fantasy versus reality. Myth dire wolves were the size of horses. They were supernatural killers. They mated with modern wolves. Their name means they were terrifying truth. They were larger than gray wolves, but not gigantic, more robust than towering. They were powerful pack hunters, but not invincible. They were genetically too distant to interbreed. Dire is a 19th century scientific term meaning fearsome, not monstrous. The real animal was amazing enough, while dire wolves may not have breathed fire, crushed mammoths single-handedly, or served as magical companions to medieval kings, they were no less remarkable. They were the undisputed pack kings of Ice Age America, thriving for hundreds of thousands of years. Their bones tell a story of survival, power, intelligence, and ultimately extinction in the face of unstoppable change. We don't need to exaggerate the dire wolf to be impressed by it. The truth, as always, is even more fascinating than the myth.